When a woman is drawn to you, her body starts speaking a language most men never learnt to read. And right now, she might be showing you exactly how she feels, while you miss every signal. This is not about being oblivious. Nobody sat you down and explained what to look for. No one taught you how to see what she is actually communicating beneath her words. The science of attraction has been studied for decades, but those findings never made it to the men who needed them most, until now. Stay until the fourth body part, because that one is the signal she cannot fake even if she tries. If you want to stop missing what women have been showing you all along, tap like right now. Welcome to this space where we decode the silent language of attraction that changes how you see every interaction. Here is something that will shift your entire perspective. Dr. Monica Moore at Webster University spent years conducting observational research on courtship signals. She documented over 50 distinct non-verbal behaviors that women use to signal interest. 50. And the average man recognizes maybe 3 or 4 of them. The rest happen right in front of him while he remains completely unaware. This explains so much. Every time you walked away from a conversation wondering if she was interested, every moment you hesitated because you could not tell, every opportunity that slipped past because the signals were there, but you did not know how to see them. This was not failure. This was simply not having the knowledge. What I am about to share is not manipulation. This is about understanding, not control. A woman's body language is her honest communication. Learning to read it does not give you power over her. It gives you the ability to respond appropriately to what she is already telling you. Let me show you the 4 body parts that reveal her true feelings. The first body part is her neck, and before you make any assumptions, this has nothing to do with anything inappropriate. This is pure psychology. The neck is one of the most vulnerable areas of the human body. It houses the carotid artery and the jugular vein. It is where predators attack prey. At a biological level that predates conscious thought, exposing the neck is an act of trust. Dr. David Givens, an anthropologist who specializes in non-verbal communication, has written extensively about what he calls neck show behavior. When a woman tilts her head to the side, touches her neck, or brushes her hair away from her neck while talking to you, she is displaying a primal signal of openness and attraction. This is not something she consciously decides to do. Her body does it automatically when she feels comfortable and drawn to someone. It is one of the oldest attraction signals in human evolution. Here is what to watch for. You are having a conversation. At some point, she tilts her head slightly, exposing the side of her neck. Maybe she reaches up and touches that exposed area. Maybe she twirls a strand of hair and lets it fall away from her neck. Maybe she adjusts a necklace, her fingers lingering there. These are not random gestures. Her body is communicating safety and interest. She is showing you a vulnerable part of herself, because something about your presence makes her feel protected enough to do so. Imagine this. You meet someone at a social gathering. The conversation has been flowing easily. As you share a story, you notice she tilts her head. Her hand comes up, and her fingers brush along her neck just below her ear. Her eyes stay on yours. She smiles. Most men would notice none of this. They would continue talking, oblivious to what just happened. But you are different now. You recognize the signal. You understand that her body just told you something her words did not. A woman in her late 40s once described this to me at a coffee shop. She said, "When I am with someone I am attracted to, I catch myself touching my neck constantly. I never realized I was doing it until a friend pointed it out." She laughed and said, "Apparently I have been broadcasting my feelings for years without knowing it." That is how powerful these signals are. Women often do not realize they are sending them, but they are sending them constantly, and now you know what to look for. The second body part is her wrists. This one surprises most men because wrists seem so insignificant, but psychologically they carry enormous weight. Like the neck, the inner wrist is vulnerable. It is where veins run close to the surface. Historically, it is an area that needed protection. When a woman exposes her inner wrists to you, she is signaling openness and receptivity. Research on body language consistently shows that wrist display is a submission signal in the context of attraction, not submission in any negative sense. Submission meaning, I am open to you. I am not guarding myself against you. I feel safe enough to be undefended. Here is what this looks like in practice. She is sitting across from you. Instead of keeping her hands in her lap or her palms down on the table, her hands are positioned so the inner wrists face upward or toward you. Maybe she is gesturing while she talks and her wrists rotate outward. Maybe she is resting her chin in her hand and her inner wrist is visible. Another powerful wrist signal involves jewelry. When a woman draws attention to her wrist by adjusting a bracelet or watch, particularly while maintaining eye contact with you, she is often subconsciously highlighting this area. She is saying, "Look at this vulnerable part of me." Imagine you are having dinner with someone. She is telling you about her week. As she talks, her hands are animated. You notice that her palms often face up, her inner wrists exposed. When she reaches for her glass, her wrist rotates so you see the soft inner part. She does not know she is doing this, but her body knows exactly what it is communicating. This is about understanding and respect, not control or manipulation. You are not using this information to manipulate anyone. You are using it to understand when genuine interest exists so you can respond with confidence rather than doubt. I spoke with a researcher who studies body language at a conference. She confirmed something fascinating. She said women position their bodies to show vulnerability to men they trust. Wrists, neck, palms facing up. These are ancient signals that say, "I feel safe with you." When you see them, you are seeing honesty that words could never match. The third body part requires more subtle observation. It is her feet. And what her feet reveal is something she almost certainly does not realize she is showing. Psychologists who study nonverbal communication often say that the feet are the most honest part of the body. The reason is simple. We learn to control our facial expressions. We learn to modulate our voice. We even learn to manage our hand gestures. But almost nobody thinks about their feet. This makes feet the body part most likely to reveal true feelings. Dr. Paul Ekman, famous for his research on micro-expressions and deception, has noted that anxiety and discomfort often show up in foot movement long before they appear anywhere else. The same is true for attraction. Here is what to watch for. When a woman is interested in you, her feet will orient toward you. Even if her body is angled differently, even if she is talking to someone else, if her feet point in your direction, part of her attention is on you. Another signal involves what I call happy feet. When a woman is enjoying your company, her feet might bounce slightly, or she might rock gently on her heels. This is the body expressing positive energy that the conscious mind is not aware of. If you are sitting and she crosses her legs, notice which direction the top leg points. If it angles toward you, this is a positive signal. If it angles away, she may be subconsciously creating distance. Imagine this scenario. You are at a gathering. You have been talking to someone for a while. Then another person joins the conversation. She turns to acknowledge them. She engages with them. But you glance down and notice her feet still point directly at you. Her body has not shifted its true orientation. You are still her primary focus, even when her eyes are elsewhere. None of this works without genuine care for the person in front of you. Reading these signals is not about hunting or conquest. It is about clarity. It is about understanding when connection is mutual, so you can move forward with confidence. A woman I spoke with at a reunion told me something that stuck with me. She said, "I never understood why certain men seem to know exactly when to pursue and when to back off. Then I learned that confident men read body language. They were not pushing, they were responding to what I was already showing them. That changed how I saw the whole dance of attraction. If this is connecting with something in you, hit subscribe. Every video here reveals the psychology that creates real understanding between men and women. And the fourth body part I am about to share is the one she cannot control even if she tries. This brings us to the fourth and most powerful signal, her pupils. The eyes have been called the windows to the soul, but it is not poetic metaphor, it is biological fact. The dilation of pupils is controlled by the autonomic nervous system. It happens automatically. It cannot be consciously controlled. And it reveals attraction more honestly than any words ever could. Dr. Eckhard Hess at the University of Chicago conducted groundbreaking research on pupil dilation and attraction. He discovered that when we see something or someone we find attractive, our pupils dilate significantly. The eyes literally open wider to let more of that person in. Equally fascinating, his research showed that we subconsciously find dilated pupils attractive in return. We do not know why we are drawn to someone whose pupils are large when they look at us. We just feel it. We feel seen. We feel wanted. We feel a pull toward them. Here is what makes this signal so powerful. She cannot fake it. She cannot decide to dilate her pupils. She cannot suppress the dilation when it happens. Her body will reveal her attraction regardless of what her words say or what social mask she wears. Watch for this in conversation. When she looks at you and her pupils seem large, especially if the lighting has not changed, her body is telling you something her mouth may never say. She is drawn to you. Now, a word of caution. Pupils also dilate in low light. They dilate when we are processing interesting information. They can dilate from certain substances, so context matters. But when you are in consistent lighting, having a focused conversation, and you notice her pupils expanding when she looks at you, you are seeing honest attraction. Imagine you are sitting together in a warmly lit restaurant. The conversation has been flowing, laughter has been shared. At some point, the talking stops. She looks at you. In that moment of silence, you notice her pupils. They are large, open, taking you in. Most men would miss this entirely. They would look away, uncomfortable with sustained eye contact. They would break the silence with words. But you understand now. You can hold that gaze. You can let the moment exist. Because you know what her eyes just told you. A woman in her early 60s shared something with me that illustrates this perfectly. We were at a workshop on communication. She said, "There have been times in my life when I was trying so hard to play it cool, to not show interest, to maintain mystery. But then I would catch someone looking at my eyes, and I would think, they know. Something in their confidence told me they could see what I was trying to hide." That is the power of understanding this signal. It gives you confidence that does not come from arrogance. It comes from knowledge, from seeing what is really happening beneath the social performance. Let me bring all of this together for you. These 4 body parts form a map of her genuine interest that exists below conscious control. Her neck, tilted and exposed, tells you she feels safe and open. Her wrists, turned upward and visible, tell you she is receptive and unguarded. Her feet, pointed toward you, tell you where her true attention lies. Her pupils, dilated and wide, tell you what she cannot hide even when she tries. These signals have existed for as long as humans have existed. They evolved long before language. They communicate truth that words often obscure. And now you can read them. But let me be clear about something. This knowledge carries responsibility. A woman can sense the difference between a man who reads her signals to connect with her and a man who reads them to take something from her. If your intention is not honest, if you are not approaching this from a place of genuine care, she will feel that mismatch. These signals tell you when interest exists. They do not give you permission to ignore her boundaries or to assume more than she is offering. The man who understands this knowledge uses it with integrity. He recognizes when mutual interest exists. He moves forward with appropriate confidence. He does not second-guess himself when the signals are clear, but he also respects when the signals are absent. He does not push where there is no invitation. Most men go through their entire lives missing these communications. They doubt themselves when they should feel confident. They push forward when they should step back. They live in a fog of uncertainty because no one ever taught them to see clearly. But you are not most men. You found this. You stayed until the end. You now understand something that will change how you experience every interaction with a woman. Here is what I want you to do. The next time you are talking to someone who interests you, pay attention. Watch for the neck exposure. Notice the wrist position. Glance at where her feet are pointing. When the moment is right, hold her gaze long enough to see her pupils. And when you see the signals, trust them. She is telling you something real, something honest, something her words might never say directly. Comment the word clarity below if this opened your eyes to what you have been missing. That one word tells me you understand that attraction is not a mystery. It is a language, and now you speak it. The next video reveals the psychological shifts that happen inside a woman when she begins to feel genuine emotional safety with a man. It explains what makes her stop guarding herself and start letting you in. That video changes everything about how you approach connection. You will not want to miss it.